the first question is for Victoria. Danny starts working at a manor full of ghosts, but she carries her own one. How does she face this situation?
Well, that's a very important part of her journey at the beginning of the show. The ghost that she carries with her is unlike the ghosts in the house, in that it is a manifestation of... I've been thinking about it kind of even newly as a sense of like, it's almost her self-worth, you know, being reflected at her, the sense of guilt that she's carrying with her that makes her just feel othered, you know, like she's experiencing things that other people aren't experiencing. Like she has an awareness of herself that other people don't know. She's fooling people into thinking she's a good person when actually she's a bad person because she's responsible for the suffering, sadness, and ultimately the death of her most closest confidant. And a huge motivating factor in dealing with that is that, well, I don't want to be specific, but she finds herself, well, I guess that's already giving away a lot of spoilers. Spoiler situation? Somebody?
It's fine. It's very complicated with the spoilers.
Yeah, it is. That's just so much of what it is that we see this ghost and we don't know how she's going to confront it. But she's definitely, at the beginning of the show, you can see that she's avoiding looking at it. But eventually she has to figure out how to face it.
Okay. The next question is for Oliver. Peter is a handsome British gentleman, but he also hides a dark side. Tell me about it, please.
I think, well, yeah, I feel like Peter is kind of a product of the 80s. He's that kind of arrogant, you know, sort of somewhat good-looking dude that thinks he's suave. And Mike and I spoke about it an awful lot about, you know, he's supposed to be the villain in the show, and we spoke an awful lot about, okay, but if we're gonna have him be the villain, let's make him a fully complex human being. And so what I found really interesting about him is that he's basically the product of, he's a construct of something horrific that happened to him when he was young, and is putting masks on constantly. And I think that that's a very kind of honest thing that we all do and partake of in life. That you know, at the core of Peter is someone incredibly damaged, and he's pretending like that is not who he is. He's trying to project into the world a completely different image. But it kind of, again, what Mike does is he, you know, shines a spotlight on the fact that you can't kind of run away from anything, any kind of trauma or anything that's happened to you. It will follow you as a ghost. It will continually follow you through your life until you face it in a way.
And finally, Henry, the turn of the screw has been adapted many times, but what new things does this series bring to the table?
Well, you know, like everything that Mike Flanagan does, it you know, it incorporates a lot of tributes to, you know, like Haunting of Hill House, the first season. You know, a lot of it was an homage to Robert Wise, and I think you know, this season, this show is an homage to all of Henry James's short stories and work. So it's not just Turn of the Screw; it's also Lady of the Lake and you know, some other famous ones. There are elements in there that it kind of showed the whole body of work and a whole theme. And you know, that's exciting because you aren't just, you know, recreating the film The Innocents, you know, from 1960. You're doing you know, you're doing something more complex, and as an actor, that's always more interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. I like doing these kind of long form stories over 7 or 8 episodes. It's very interesting.
Okay, thank you guys for the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you.